Ladies and gentlemen and everything in between, hello, welcome to the channel. I'm out right now, but this has been weighing on my heart and my mind since last night. So I wanted to bring it to the channel and just get y'all's thoughts and express my thoughts, because maybe talking about it will help me work through it. So since the pandemic and we've been social distancing, nobody can hold big events, which means that the Olympics for the last one were basically canceled. It went against regulations, so we didn't have it. Which means that this upcoming Olympics in Tokyo is highly anticipated. We've been waiting for it. It's actually, every time we have an Olympics every 4 years, it only happens 4 years, sequentially. So it's a big deal. So for us to now be having it, it's kind of I feel like this upcoming Olympics matters more than any past one in the future, except for maybe the very first one. But it's an important event. So, we're all excited. There's so many different breakout stars, so many names that we're watching her who have popped up and we're excited to see. So the anticipation for the Olympics this year is very high in Tokyo. And this video ultimately isn't just about the Olympics, but it's really about 3 things. The Olympics, the stigma marijuana has, and Sha'Carri Richardson herself. If you haven't been on the internet since since yesterday, I guess, she wasn't caught, because caught makes it seem like it's a negative connotation, but she was randomly drug tested and it was found, or THC was found within her system. THC is a chemical that is within marijuana, which is just, if you don't know what marijuana is, or weed, 420, yeah, that kind of stuff. She tested positive for marijuana. Now, marijuana is a drug that goes against policies or the rules and all that stuff for the Olympics. You're just not allowed to have any controlled substances, and marijuana, weed, whatever you want to call it, is a part or on the list of controlled substances athletes cannot have in their system. Sha'Carri Richards, again, tested positive for THC. So it has now been decided that she will have a 100-day suspension, which means which means she's going to miss the 100-meter sprint. Or I might have that backwards. Either she's going to miss the relay. Actually, I think it is the relay. Oh, which I feel like is even worse, because it's the relays are always everybody loves the single sprinters, but it's always the relays, the team sprints, the baton pass. That's the thing that's always the most interesting, at least for me as a sprinter. Now, I'm coming from a background in track, so I feel kind of passionate about this, and I can relate to Sha'Carri, not necessarily in the sense that I was out here smoking when I knew I had an event, but I'm a black sprinter, so I'm not. It's not that I think there's any race issues here. It's just I can see myself in Sha'Carri Richards. In any single way I could be in her position right now. Not in a sprinting way, because bitch, she's fast as heck, running a sprint in freaking 10:23. That's insane. But my point is just like she was a black female sprinter, I am a black female sprinter, so I can see myself in her. So I have a lot of sadness, compassion, empathy, regret, all that for her. But yeah, she's not allowed to run in the 4x100 relay, which I feel it just chopped the American team at their knees. I feel the last leg, everybody knows this if you're familiar with sprinting or track or anything, the last leg is always they're the ones who have the power, I guess, to catch up or finalize any guarantee of a win that the team has. It's always the second leg that is supposed to advance you and make the biggest distance between you and the competitors, and it's the last leg who is supposed to secure that first place. And Sha'Carri Richards was the last leg, understandably so. The only critique that anybody really has about her sprint is she's slower in the beginning, and towards the end she has this insane willpower that she can just muster up and get lengths against her competitors. So not having her in the relay now is again just chopping us at our knees. So I don't think 100%, I don't think America's going to win the 4x100, the female team, because without Sha'Carri Richards, I just don't see it happening. Getting back to the marijuana thing, though, honestly, I see both sides. Obviously, I stand with Sha'Carri Richardson. I feel marijuana is such a, municipal? It's such a minute thing that I feel it shouldn't be enough to disqualify her from running in the freaking Olympics. Her mother just passed away. I'm not sitting here making excuses, but I can just say I can understand why she would turn to substances. But again, it's not even like she was out here doing coke or doping or, doing any enhancements. In fact, she was kind of hurting herself in a way by smoking marijuana. Because marijuana, people always say it like messes with your lungs, or just any smoke. Anything you inhale into your lungs can ruin them. And you need really good lungs to be a good athlete. So if anything, she just got disqualified for using a hindrance, which is even just mind-boggling to me. But yeah, going back to marijuana, I feel like the more time goes, the few years down the line, I think in all 50 states marijuana is going to be legal. And I don't know, it's a plant that's grown off the earth. It's not like, something that's manufactured or is distributed or has caused a epidemic or anything like that. It's just marijuana, you know what I mean? It's just weed. It's just, 420, woohoo. I don't smoke myself, but, I don't really bash anybody who does smoke. It's, if you want to smoke, just whatever, but don't let it control your life. And I feel like again, with Sha'Carri's grieving process, it was just a part of it, and it was her coping mechanism. That being said, though, yes, obviously she knew the consequences. She knew she wasn't supposed to smoke, but I don't fault her for making a mistake, or, whatever you want to call it. I just wish people didn't look at things like this, like, as such a big whatever. Like, people are still in jail for marijuana in states that it's legal now, and you can say, oh, well, they were selling it when it was illegal. Okay, well, now it is legal. Some could argue it should have never been illegal. I just feel like it's one of those gray areas because it's just marijuana, but at the same time, yes, it is still in the rules. And again, Sha'Carri Richards is one of the most, she's just insane. Her talents, her charisma, her personality, her presence. She has a beautiful soul. So to see her, I don't know, she just straight off the line barely, and now she can't even run in the Olympics. And this could have set her up, her future, her family, all that stuff. And it's lost because of a few inhales of a plant that's grown on Earth. That's just mind-boggling to me. I feel bad for her, but I can't even agree with the Olympics, though. Yeah, it's in your rules, but come on. This is like Michael Jackson, the Beatles, any superstar. You make some exceptions. She is literally the #1 sprinter in the world right now. She's a breakout star. Her future is we don't even know how. She's great now, but imagine in a few years where she will be. She's one of the top dogs right now. Imagine where she will be in the future. They could make an exception. Or if you don't want to make an exception, just shorten it so she can run in the relay, or fine her, give her a fine of however much. I just saw that NCAA athletes are now being allowed to be paid, whereas in the past they weren't allowed to. So maybe she's been getting some brand deals. She's popping off right now. Her Instagram's blowing up. She's all over YouTube. Her Twitter's blowing up. She's a huge rising star and already a breakout star. So give her a fine, $10,000, but let her run in the race. I just don't get it. Sha'Carri Richardson is a beast, and I feel like not letting her run in the race is not only doing her an injustice, but the audience in total. Sha'Carri Richardson, damn. Let me know your thoughts, though.